useful for this. Okay, guys, I know that you guys has been gone through this particular recordings and then you came back. So I'm very glad for that. Now here, the first basic pointer, you guys need to understand few things. Okay, I'll select the marker a little bit bigger sizer. Okay, now this is what our STLC, okay, software testing lifecycle. So now previously we discussed SDLC, SDLC different phases, and from the SDLC testing phase, so this STLC was born. Now we need to understand what is this exactly the STLC. Now let's come back here, and then we have discussed in the different models also. So the SDLC models and all the things, right? So how this particular testing would be conducted, this is what the phase. Guys, many of the people will don't means I'm telling you that even 5 years, 10 years experience guys will not understand this, because they they didn't learn about how exactly we need to do a testing. You need to understand, if I given a particular new application for you, if I given a new application, how to start this particular execution, or how to test this particular execution, how to test that particular application is the most important factor which you need to understand. To know that, you should know this STLC phase. You need to know means other things also, the levels of testing, the approaches of testing, methodologies of testing, testing techniques. These all things also you need to know. But before this all, so this is the core and the basic thing, STLC, software testing life cycle. So you should understand how these things will happen. Now let's see, we'll come one by one. Now the requirement analysis. Now always here, the direction which you need to think is the direction from the testing point of view. So from the testing point of view, you need to think through this one. Now for doing means, for an example, take an application, let's take the application make my trip MMT application. So now for this particular application, so now here we need to book the flights. Okay, I wanted to book the flight tickets, then just take that. Okay, I wanted to go from Chennai to Goa. Okay, then I'll keep this as my to and then source destination, Chennai to Goa flight. Now I wanted to test this one means, now first of all, I need to understand that is it a web application, or is it a desktop application, or it is a means the types of application we have been discussed, right? 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tier, 4 tier. Which tier of application is this? Now what means, what exactly I need to test on this one means, I do have different type of testing. I need to do whether the functional testing, non-functional testing, compatibility testing. So what exactly I need to perform on this one? So first we will gather the complete requirements on what exactly we need to test on this particular test. So this is what the first phase of this testing. So now we gather the complete requirements, what I need to go and test. So first I'll understand that one clearly. So now in this particular MMT flights, so first I need to see if I given the to address and the from address, so how this particular application will work for us. So I'll just open that application so that it can easily understand. Make my trip. So if you see in this particular application, flights, I need to test it. So from address to address, and then I need to enter the departure date, and then I need to click on this search. So this is what I need to do. So now in which browsers I need to test, whether I need to test it in Chrome, I need to test in Firefox, or I need to test in Edge browsers. So we have different browsers, right? Web browsers. I need to test in all the different browsers, or I just need to test it means test it in only Chrome browser, and I need to test it in different operating system means Windows 8.1, 10, and Mac machines. We need to test it in all these particular operating systems also, or I need to test only this. So this is called compatibility testing. Compatibility means whether this will fit into that environment or not. Means for an example, whether I can open this application in the the Ubuntu machine or Windows 10 version. It is simple, guys. You have a vessel. Okay, you wanted to keep the salt into one vessel. First you'll check, I have 1 kilo of salt, whether this 1 kilo of salt will put into this particular vessel or not. You'll check that. If the vessel is not fitting, then you'll take a bigger vessel and then you'll keep all your salt. right? The same way, whether our application can be fit into that environment or not. So these are all the things you'll be asking the people when you're going to test any particular application. So you'll be asking whether we need to do only the functional testing, non-functional testing, and all the things. Anyways, it comes in the different type of testing. There we will get into the details of it. But as of now, you need to understand that functional or non-functional or compatibility, these are the things we need to test it or not. What are the basic, means you're just asking them, boss, what I need to test actually, you tell me. So those all requirements you will be gathered from the requirement phase. Now, once you have been requirement phase, you have been done, then you go for the planning phase. So how I need to plan my test? I know what to do. See, now I thought means the basic requirement is I need to go from Chennai to Goa. Now, if I wanted to travel from here to here, then what is my plan? Okay, I need to take my flight from from here, from means my home. I need to go for Chennai airport. From Chennai airport, I need to take the flight to Goa, and from Goa, I need to take my cab to my hotel. So this is what my plan. And then once I stayed there, I went there, I'll be staying for 2 days. I need to book my hotel, and then I need to book my cab, or I can book or rent can, or I can hire my bike there so that I can spend. So this is what the planning means. You have been gathered the requirements, and then you are planning for your trip. The same way, so once you know you gathered all your requirements for the testing, you will plan that particular requirements how to test. So here the question here it is what to test, and here how to test. Okay, now this thing will be done completely by testing team. Okay, and this also will be done by the testing team, but who is the owner for this one is the test lead or the test manager can take care of this requirement analysis, and test planning also will be taken care by test lead and the manager. The other team members will wait and see for the instructions of these people. So now we're done with two phases. The next phase is the test case development. The test case development, so I told you, right, we do have three babies. One is SDLC to STLC, and from STLC to TCLC. So test case life cycle. So this is what means the birth for the test case life cycle will form over here. This is the test case development, which is the test case life cycle. So anyways, we will discuss about this one in the later part of our session, the test case life cycle. Okay, so here what we will try to do is we will write the test cases. Boss, I didn't understand what is this particular test case. Test cases are nothing but, boss, enter username, enter password, click login button. You'll go to the home page. This is one test case. Enter right username and enter wrong username and click the login button, get the error message and validate it. This is another test case. So anyways, when we talk about this test case lifecycle, I'll go into the details. What do you meant by test case, and then how the test case lifecycle will be there. But as of now, means here you know what to test, and here you know how to test, and here what we will be having is details of that particular testing. So we will be having different scenarios. You can say as of now, to get understanding of this one, you have multiple scenarios over here. For an example, I'll give means I'll not give this particular destination. Okay, I'll give same as Bangalore and Bangalore, then it should throw me the error message. Or if I given the Bangalore means Mumbai and to Delhi, so then it should show me this date. I select this, I click the search button. As soon as I click search button, it shown me the search results page. So this is one scenario. Now the failure scenario, which I selected, right? I selected Mumbai, and even the destination also Mumbai. If I selected this, it should throw me the error message. And if I click the student fate, so the student fate should show to me. So these are the different scenarios we can test on this particular application, right? So this is how the different scenarios can be recorded, and then it would be tested. So that is what the test case development phase will talks about it. And in details of this particular test case development, we will discuss in the phase of test case lifecycle, how to create the test cases and what are the different phases we do have it in the test cases. We will discuss about this. Let's park this one for some time. But here you need to understand that we gathered the requirements, we planned for that particular testing, and we will write the different scenarios for this one. So those all scenarios we have been written. Now, the next phase means what we are trying to do is, so we wanted to set up the environment. Guys, here the development team coming and doing the unit testing, these all things are not. All these phases will be done by the testing team only. and this writing the test case will be done by the team members. The testing team members will write this one. So this role, test lead and manager will do it, and here the test lead manager will do it, and test case development will be done by the complete team. Now, what do you meant by test environment means where you are going to test this particular application. Here the question is where. See, now here the question is what, here it is how, and this is where you are going to test it, and this is the details of that particular testing. So now where we are going to test, whether you are testing in the Windows, or whether you are testing in the Mac, Apple Mac, or you are testing in the Google Ubuntu. So in which environment you are testing, which browser you are testing. So those all details will talks about the test environment. In which environment I need to go and test it. Actually, you will be having QA environment, development environment, and beta environment, and staging environment. These are the different standard environments available uh, in the complete software industry. Now, development environment means the developers will go and develop their code into this particular environment, and means consider this as one server. Okay, in this particular server, the people will go, I mean, the dev team only will have the access. The dev team will go and develop, means whatever the thing they wanted to do the develop, they will be doing it. Means like it's like a C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive. So C drive, you will have all the system files. D drive, I'll keep all my means whatever the content which I wanted to keep it over here, and all my official things I'll keep it here, and all my entertainment things I'll be keeping here. So now when I wanted to have access to this one, so I'll just do access. The same way, this is a separate space or a separate server for the development team where they can access this one and then they can work on this. The same way, the QA team will be there, right? So for their testing of this one, so now what they will do, they copy this particular code to this particular environment. So this copying of the code from one environment to another environment, this is called as deployment. Okay, they deploy the code from this environment to this environment. Deployment is nothing, just to copy from one place to another place. You're copying here, pasting there. So now you're copying the code from this environment to this environment. So you shouldn't use copy paste here, right? So that's where they use the terminology called deployment. Now this environment will be used for complete testing only. This environment will be used for complete development only. So this is how the environments will be decided. So this is one part, and second part is this: is it the Windows server, or is it a Mac machine server? That's how we, based upon the operating systems also, will create it. So now in this environment, I'm going to test my applications. So this is what we are going to tell. So this is my requirement analysis, planning, test case development, and test environment we have been done. Now what's the next one? The next phase here is the test execution. I just wanted to have that picture. Okay, the next one is the test execution. The name itself, it was saying that test execution. So this environment setup, who will be trying to do it? Even here we will be having a separate environment. So if it is not there, infra team will be doing it. The infra team or DevOps is another two teams. The job of them is to create the environment setups. Here we will not do any testing, but here they are helping us to create this particular environment. For an example, I wanted to cook something. You need to provide me with a gas stove, right? Or you can give me some oven or something else. You need to give it to me to cook, right? The same way, these are the people, they will be giving us this particular environment. So the stove we are giving it, right? Or something else you are giving it. So who means the people they will give it is the infra team or the DevOps team will give this particular infrastructure for us. Based upon this particular infrastructure, we'll proceed further and then we will create the environment. Okay, now the test execution comes into the picture. The test execution means you written the scenarios, right? Boss, you go here, open the browser, navigate to the URL, enter the username, enter the password, click the login button, go to the home page. This is what the scenario you have written. Now manually one people will go perform the same. He will open the browser, navigate to the URL, enter the username, enter the password, click the login button, see whether it reached to the home page. If this is matching, then test case is passed. If it is not matching, then it is failed. So test case passed or failed, how we will be deciding is, if actual meets to the expectation, then test case is passed. If actual is not meeting to the expectation, then it is failed. Simple. I'll repeat the same thing again here. Now, we expected that open a browser, navigate to the URL, enter the username, enter the password, click the run button, and it should go to the home page. When you perform this particular action, the expected is it need to go to the home page. So if it went to the home page, and actually also when you're doing this, it was going to the home page, then this is called test case passed. If it is not going to the home page, and if it is throwing the error message, then the test case is failed. Means the actual is not meeting with the expected. So this is where we will be saying that this scenario is passed, this scenario is failed. Rather than scenario, we'll call it as test case. So this test case is passed, test case is failed. So doing these things is called manual execution, test case executions, or running the test cases, or executing the test cases. So these are the things which we will try to do it. Okay. So means we are trying to execute this particular test cases. Now, once again, I'll just, we do have the closure. Before that particular closure, let's see if we do have any other items we wanted to discuss about it. So the test execution and test closure. So the test closure, what do you mean by the test closure is, now, boss, what to test? Okay, we are done. How to test? We are done. The details of testing, we are done. Where to test? We are done. When to test and doing the performing the action, we are done. All things are done. Now what we have done, so we will be keeping into the summary report. Means for an example, uh, I wanted to cook something. I say, means I was trying to prepare the breakfast. I'll complete all the breakfast, and then I'll come and say, boss, the breakfast is completed. We are done idli dosa, and then we have done some chutney, and then we have done some masala. You can take this. So you are giving the summary of that what you have done, the summary of the breakfast, right? The same way, in this test closure, what we will say is, boss, we have tested this particular application. This is how we have been tested. Functional testing, compatibility testing we have done. And in this particular testing, these many bugs we have been identified, and these many bugs were fixed, and these many bugs are still in the phase. Means bugs means what? Means it's a deviation. Means for example, when you're cooking the breakfast, you feel that some salt is increased. So but we have been rectified that, and these are the things we identified, and we have been solved it. So those are all the information we will be having in the test closure. Test closure is nothing but it's a summary of your execution and the testing what you have been performed. This includes your execution results report, or it says like what are the things you have been tested, what are the showstoppers you have been encountered, or it's a complete like gist or summary of your testing. So now throughout the complete, no, you will be giving a movie review. You went for a movie, you seen a movie, and you'll give you a review, right? Boss, the climax was not ended properly, but if they ended, it was good. The hero performed well, the heroine performed well, and the villain character is very high. So you will be giving the summary of that particular story. The same way, the test closure will give you the summary of the complete testing and the test results and bugs count. All the information you'll be getting it, and you are saying that we are completing this particular testing. The last phase is we are closing this particular testing by this. So this is a closure note. We will have vote of thanks, right? The same way, this is what the testing phase would be completed. We are confirming by the test closure. We'll be having a sign off document. Sign off means, boss, this is done. You can go ahead. So that's how we are saying it, right? So those things we'll be doing it in the test closure. So that's how the things will go on. So now these are the different phases of STLC. Now you might be, means once you have been read through, and then now you have gone through this one, so you will be having a complete information like how we